Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan. This is basically 117th part basically of the Formula Award. Basically. Here basically we are discussing about the Bollywood industry, what Bollywood industry is, and how basically Bollywood industry says that we have the entire data of the each and every culture, each and every religious, each and every cities, each and every states, each and every countries basically. And according to that, basically we are handling the entire data basically. So that Bollywood groups are telling we are not running the American government, we are not running the European government, we are not running the Italian government. Like this basically we are not running it, we just know the each and every culture information, each and every religious information, each and every countries, each and every cities, each and every states information. So basically currently I am in India, so basically I am here basically I am telling as a cities and states basically. So like this basically each and every cities and states are basically handled by the Bollywood. Like this basically they are not telling like that. So here basically I am not telling that entire cities and entire American, entire European are basically running, government are basically running by the Bollywood industry. So I am not telling that directly. So like this basically it's a 117th part, and here basically we are telling about the culture of the Bollywood industry. Basically, you can say the culture of the powerful industry of which says that we can basically able to handle the cities, we can able to handle the states. Basically, the reason basically that we have the entire information of the land also up to the land level basically, how basically the cities is going to handle the season, and according to the season basically how the culture is going to be of the cities, of the states and of the countries basically. So up to that level basically the groups are telling that we have, and so just imagine basically if to run basically one city basically, one IAS officers, collectors basically, MLAs, corporators basically, they are doing up to the stuff level hard work basically they have done. So this all hard work basically the entire data basically the Bollywood groups are telling that we have basically. So basically Bollywood groups are nowadays basically handling the collectors, they are handling the MLAs, they are handling the chief ministers. That also basically we can't say, but basically up to level the information the groups have basically. So if one company software, if any company basically is telling that, that also basically outside India company are telling that we want to sell this product basically, that Bollywood group basically tell us basically how many product is going to be sell basically, is going to be sold basically. So like this really up to level this information if the Bollywood groups have basically. So basically that you can just imagine basically the level of the information basically the groups have. One more example basically I have already taken basically, that is long before basically I had taken. One businessman basically told that I don't have time basically. So you can take care of my health basically. He's selling that because health is wealth basically. If health is there, then basically you can do the stuff basically. So for that basically you can handle my life basically you can say, but you just have to give the instruction basically. You are not supposed to give any orders basically. That type of contract basically was signed by the businessman in the front of the Bollywood group basically. So like this Bollywood group, a few groups have basically, according to the experience, they were basically allocated in this that project basically. That project was basically businessman name health is wealth basically. That time that is the basically name of the project. So like this basically whatever things basically he was eating, whatever stuff basically he was eating, according to that basically after a few days basically he was going to get the oxygens basically. So he was going to get oxygen according to the oxygen basically what are the, if basically that food basically he has eaten basically it's not going to support his body, then basically what are the medicine basically supposed to give. So in advance basically you can say the each and every Bollywood group industry knows. So up to just see the up to the level information basically, the whatever basically the his body is going to generate basically the blood cells, and according to the blood cells the oxygen which is going to come basically, and according to the oxygen which is going to come after certain days, and what are the things basically going to happen inside his body basically, what are the disease, if disease will going to happen, then basically which type of disease is going to happen. So up to that level basically doctors level information basically Bollywood groups have. That means basically doctors are also basically in this project basically you can say health is well, because health basically is connected with the doctor industry only. That is basically health ministry basically you can say. So I'm not telling that health ministry are connected with Bollywood. So like this, basically the health ministry connected with this Bollywood project basically. So like this, basically the Bollywood group has taken one of the mini health group industry basically person from his the from the allocated group basically. Nowadays, basically each and every industry says that you if you want our help basically you can take these people's help basically. So directly basically they have pointed that these are groups, the groups basically you can take the help, so you can just need to allocate the people basically. This is like that basically, one project is ongoing, and when there are set of resources basically available in the company basically, and you can just take the resources according to the your budget of the project basically. You just need to drag and drop the resources. Like this, basically the project starts basically. So it's this is also one of the project that is basically health is wealth of the businessmen basically. Like this, basically they exactly know basically how the tree mapping of the health basically of the person basically of the, his body structure basically what is going to affect. So according to that basically, because his time is basically money basically, so for that basically in advance basically they were giving the money, giving the medicine basically, because his time is money basically. That's why basically he has hired basically Bollywood group industry. So basically just see the businessman industry basically, how they keeps the each and every minutes value basically, how they keeps the each and every minutes tracking basically, because they are telling that basically I know basically it's a business industry, so health is also converted into business basically, you can say like that basically. So basically when you are doing any business, then basically the percentage of amount are basically divided in the certain groups basically. So like this, basically that is basically decided by the set of groups only who created the city basically. So like that basically, the the businessman industry basically told that whatever the health basically related problem happens, that basically you have to handle basically whatever things happens. That basically according to that basically the Bollywood person, no, sorry, the businessman basically told that yeah, basically that's fine, basically whatever things are going to happen, that I will take in advance basically. So he basically taken the medicine, and then basically he when that oxygen was came into his body, that time basically he was feeling perfectly fine because the advanced medicine he has already taken. Like this, basically the things are basically getting handled, and the health is wealth basically formula basically the Bollywood groups are telling that we are able to perfectly handle the health is wealth industry of this is basically example I have already taken. But then also basically I was taking this example in this is basically connected with not only the businessman basically, the it's connected with the big political people also, because their time is also money basically, because their each and every minutes are basically you can say very costly basically, you can say very healthy basically, you can say, because if they don't feel and they don't if they say that health is not good, then basically you can just imagine the things basically. So like this, basically one of the Bollywood industry told that we are handling up to the level projects also. So few people says that we are up to energy level health also basically. That is basically, you can say set of people basically is telling that we are handling certain projects like human needs projects are there, human needs creation projects are there basically from the set of cities, set of areas basically. That also basically Bollywood groups are telling that we can able to handle basically, because we have the each and every data basically in city basically. If one vegetable is process vegetable creation process is ongoing, then basically they exactly know basically what need to, because the data is already uh, dumped into the database and in the system basically. They just need to allocate according to the time basically. So like this, basically the Bollywood industry says that we just have the data, we just need to allocate. Then basically according to the data given by the set of groups, well, the energy gets set in the city basically. Like that, basically the vegetable creation process is also ongoing. This, so like this, basically each and every city says that they have certain. Task basically in the city basically, what are the tasks basically which is going to be happen, has to be done. According to that basically the energy industry is going to create what each and every stuff basically. So in city basically whatever things are going to be entered, that basically is according to the human need creation which is going to happen. So like this, basically each and every human needs creation happens according to the human needs, which is if basically the human needs creation is going to happen, then basically you can just imagine the whatever materials which is coming in the mall, whatever material which is coming in the shops, whatever petrols are coming in the petrol pumps, whatever the oils basically which are coming in the cities, whatever the environment basically which is settled in the cities, whatever the things are basically which, medicine industry which is settled in the city, so that each and every things are basically settled basically, that also is done. So that type of stuff basically Bollywood industry says that we can able to handle. So like that basically the government says that we are also basically keeping tracking of each and every stuff basically. So like this, each and every stuffs are getting tracked, that what are the things going to create, according to that basically what are the things has to be prepare. So basically, like that, basically Bollywood industry says that we are ready up to that level, and we are actually doing this type of stuff basically. So for that also, there also basically the money gets the money get problem basically, that also getting solved basically in that basically doing that type of stuff basically. So if you are handling one city basically, at least you are going to take some money from the set of groups basically, because you are selling your services, that is basically Bollywood service. So if you are selling the Bollywood service, then basically you are going to take some money, right? So like this, basically you are not doing in free basically. Like this free previously basically the it was free basically, because theater basically whenever it's getting in. Getting basically displayed in front of public, that time basically the money was not taken. But nowadays basically if you want to watch any theater basically, there also basically you have to give the money, because the thing expense basically which gets happens basically, that has to be covered. So basically Bollywood basically have lots of character, lots of rules are there, lots of directors are there, lots of producers there basically. They whatever the investment they do of the times and of the money basically, they basically want the return money back also. This is like this basically businessman is telling, uh, one of the political people says that businessman, you do the investment basically. So basically he has done the investment of 1 lakh 2 lakh crore. Then like this basically like this basically the contract was signed that you will be going to get this much money after certain time, and after certain time basically you are going to get the percentage amount, and like this basically you are going to get certain amount basically, you can say. So like this basically the amount was given by the political groups, and like this basically entire Bollywood industry was also connected with the certain groups basically, you can say. So like this basically this is also little bit about the Bollywood, and that is basically 117 part. In 118 part basically we are going to see little bit more about the Bollywood industry.